programs, that LSS may be not the most important problem therein, but yeah, in sense of a fair and good sport, always try to think about personal development first for your gymnasts. Again, there are a lot of wonderful people that I have to thank for their support. This time, Konstantinos Silenza, Stanley Heike, Steffen Eisler, Heiko Berger, former top-level gymnast. And again, you see my contact information. Again, thank you for your patience.
Thank you again for this interesting presentation. Again, we do have some time for questions. Do we have any questions? No questions? Yes?
Did you analyze the boys and women's, or is some difference between, because it seems that maybe women gymnastics have more this kind of things?
Yeah. Good question. I have no data on that. We just have single cases. We had 3 women that suffered from LSS that came to our institution, and we had 5 men, but I'm not sure if this is a general distribution. No idea on it.
If there are no other questions, I always have questions. I think one of the aspects maybe wasn't presented too much here is the concept of skill confusion. For example, a gymnast does a double twisting double, learns the triple twisting double, loses the double double. Is there anything you can add to that? Like how long should an element be done stably before you advance to the next and so on?
Okay. How long? Quite a hard question. I don't think that I can answer this. Of course, the dynamic pattern approach in motor learning always emphasizes that you have to form stable attractors. And usually they say 2,000 to 3,000 repetitions forms a stable attractor. But this is such a rule of thumb. I'm not sure if you can generalize it to gymnastics. So I think it very much relies to personal experience as a coach. I know that in some studies from the 80s, 90s, they did research on how many repetitions you have to perform until you perform a perfect double somersault, for instance. But nowadays there is no research on giving any idea on that. So forming stable attractors, maybe 3,000 repetitions is enough, maybe not. I have no idea.
Is skill confusion the most common thing that happens, you think?
Maybe there is some research from Christopher Nasberg. He argues that it's a vestibular cause. So when you stand overhead, you get confused on turning to the left, to the right side. Sometimes your vestibular information is different when you perform a very somersault with a very high rotation velocity, that you get the idea that you either turn to the right or turn to the left, which may contribute to skill confusion. But again, very hard to answer this question.
Other questions?
Just one question. Some of the gymnasts need to learn one element, let's say 2,000 repetitions, okay? And some of them need 7,000, 8,000 to learn the same element. So, as I know from all our experience, the gymnast with the smaller size of the repetition of the elements, who can reach this element much faster than the other one, but they can lose faster this element than the other one. Do you know something about that?
This is also what they and colleagues would support. So quite quick and easy skill acquisition is likelier or more probable to result in LS and lost skill syndrome. But I cannot give any numbers on that. Having a stable attractor always means that you have also a stable connection, as I said, between perception and action, in the sense of this perceptual action coupling. But how to optimize that, or how this relates now to lost skill, you can only speculate about it. You can really only speculate about it.
Yeah, thanks for the interesting lecture, and I certainly have some experience myself of the lost skill syndrome and additional twists there and there. And but is there strong evidence that is psychological related, or some evidence also it might be the neurophysiological thing that myself it happened more often during the training period and approaching the competitions when there was possibly an overload for the neuromuscular system.
Yeah. good point. So my impression is that the occurrence of lost skill syndrome is more or less a psychological condition. The consequences could manifest on a neurophysiological or even neuropsychological level. I mean, we have no chance, or no one has done this ever, having a computer tomography of the gymnast's brain or something that could answer the question if there is overlap in the motor area, which some of the authors speculate about. Could be one explanation, no data, no idea. My impression would be more psychological condition that makes it likelier to occur, and then you have some significant changes on a neurophysiological level. But again, I can only speculate about it. Sorry for that, but I can only speculate.
Sorry, may I have one question? Because I forgot to ask you before about this eye, visual for the training, Last years we see on television, like I said, always this MTV style, so quick changing the pictures, everything, like phone, when I give my phone to my kids, they're looking pictures like this very fast and they see everything. So this also probably affect on these days, let's say, make a training with the kids comparing with, 30 years ago.
Okay, good point. So yeah, probably.
For sure. All this focusing and everything,
And maybe that's what the advanced gymnasts learn to do that more quickly than.
Maybe, yes.
Interesting. Then I do have a question on the very basic skills. Those of you that are older might remember 1981 World Championships where Maxi Knock, one of the best gymnasts, started her floor routine and suddenly stopped and then finished. And after that, it was career ending because you could never have confidence in her not doing this again. And I personally coached a girl that lost after tens of thousands of repetitions of back handspring. One day on balance beam, she started and stopped. And it ended up being career ending because you could never be confident that it wouldn't happen before a double salto or something. And why, on a very basic skill, is it analysis leads to paralysis? They start to think.
Maybe it's that, yeah. So no more automatic processing, maybe more conscious processing. Maybe also this overlap for some reason, or to some degree. Really hard to speculate about it. You have to speculate.
Any other questions? So, okay, I thank you very much for your interest and for your attention. Thank you, Dr. Mann, So it'll be repeated again this afternoon for other coaches that were not available this morning, or judges, or some of the women coaches that you know might be interested. Won't close the room to them either. Good luck for the rest of the competition. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.